Hi there, good morning. It's April 29th. George over here in California and just doing a check-in. Hey, everything's good, I guess, as far as it can go for now. We're dealing with COVID-19. Everybody's got their own way of dealing with. Of course, it depends on our circumstances. Our circumstances right now are okay. My wife still has a job, so that's a big plus. Still can pay the rent. I'm sure it's hard for a lot of people. But we have to learn to manage. We have to keep on going, and can't let these things that happen. Can't life get the best of us. We have to figure out a way to keep on going. So, if you have MS, I know it's tough. We could talk a little bit about that, but right now, let's just talk about being self-quarantined. That's the option that you've chosen. We're self-quarantined, doing a lot of reading. Do some stretching, exercising, because vaccine's going to come sooner than later. Modern technology is it's just too advanced nowadays, and you have like a worldwide collaborative attempt to come up with a vaccine. They're working on it. It's going to come. Just stay safe till it comes, and then check with your doctor and get it, and keep going with our life. If we have MS, that's what we do. So we're going to talk a little bit. Man, how time flies. It's already... Shit. Anyway, so talk about MS a little bit. I miss when I don't have MS, when I didn't have MS, but I don't think about it too much. I mean, those are memories. Glad I had them. Good experiences. It's in the past. Still a lot of good things that can happen in life. It doesn't have to be on a wrap, risking my life with a bunch of strangers. But it was fun. I remember when I first had MS, the doctor said it takes the wind out of your sail. Today I am going to just talk a little bit about MS and what it's like having MS. In the beginning, it was really hard. My body's really strong, but it was really hard mentally. Mentally, I was just not going anywhere. I was almost defeated from the get-go because of the prognosis, and my mind was so bad. But now my body's, it's been 30 years, not only age, but MS progression, but my mind's stronger. So in the beginning when I had MS, I remember lots of times I was really tired, hard to get up. They used to tell me, gotta get up. I read this book one time. It's called Sick and Tired of Being Sick and Tired. I really can't tell you what was in that book, but I can tell you what, after I read that book, I had a different perspective on my approach to dealing with fatigue. And that's the message today. With MS, we have to keep adapting, we have to keep adjusting, dealing with fatigue. Right now, dealing with fatigue, I don't have too much fatigue right now. I don't know if it's the Ocrevus. I always thought that Ocrevus was very effective in relieving fatigue and stabilizing my condition so that I could become more active and regain strength. That's Ocrevus. But I've also tried other medicines. At the beginning of the year, I was on Provigil and Ampyra. Ampyra, I always thought improved neurological transmission. That's what it's supposed to do. Never really helped me with my walking because my walking is my walking. I mean, that nerve intervention is pretty well shot. Even though I've been walking better lately. So anyhow, Ampyra and the other one is Provigil, the one that they give for narcolepsy. I thought that helped with energy, but so like I was saying, since the beginning of the year, because our deductible is like $1,000 or $2,000. for the year. You know, we don't have that kind of money, so I stopped taking it for 6 months. But right now I can order it, but I haven't started taking it because I've been feeling good with energy. You know, I don't need it. But anyhow, so what I've been doing lately is I've been taking kombucha. Kombucha is really good for digestion. It really has helped me with my digestion. Keeps me regular. It's a big thing, especially if you're living not a very active life for more than one reason, MS and now self-quarantine. And then also we drink black tea, boil some cinnamon and a few sticks of cinnamon. Get a good cinnamon flavor and some water. Get 8 bags of tea, black tea, boil them up. Mix them up with the cinnamon and about 2 liters of water. Makes a really good, flavorful, cinnamon tasting black tea. And, you know, sweeten it up with whatever you like. My wife uses Activa. Everybody has their choice. That's how it is. She likes it. I think it gives me a little bit of energy. Too, keeps me going. Right now it's about 7:30 in California. And doing good, feeling good. I want to just touch a little bit about MS. So I always use Sustain. Here we go. For my eyes get dry, photosensitive. You know, so I'm always wearing sunglasses. It's important, you know, because my eyes, you know, what do they call it? Optic neuritis. For years and years, my eyes used to hurt. I felt like 2 fingers were being stuck in my eyes. Saw a lot of doctors. Nobody really said anything. Optic neuritis. I always use Sustain eye drops for dry eyes. They help anyway. It's probably, eye health is something that's really ignored lots of times by a lot of people. For a lot of us, it's just your eyes, you know. You can see you're fine. No, man. If sooner or later, you know, starting with like diabetes, I read one time where before your eyes go bad 5 years before you get diagnosed with diabetes, you know. So I always keep that in mind, you know, so because it's important, our eyes. So back in Sustain, sunglasses, MS, going back to the beginning when it was really hard. It was really hard. It was emotionally hard, you know. I had like a self-defeating kind of attitude, a lot of anger. And I felt like, oh, I'm going to be crippled up. But that's a bad attitude. That's the wrong attitude. Because here I am 36 years later. My body's still pretty strong. I mean, really, it's pretty strong. Especially with this new medication that I took Ocrevus. Because what happens is, if you get in a situation, whether it's Ocrevus, Tysabri, Rituxan, which is similar to Ocrevus, any of those, you know, Copaxone, I took it for 14 years. I thought it was pretty effective in stabilizing the condition. Tecfidera, I took it for 3 years, but then I switched up because Ocrevus came up, and I thought, heck, man, I'm doing my part. If I get a hold of that stuff and try it, it's supposed to be the most effective. But so far, it has been the most effective in stabilizing the condition so it doesn't progress. I'm on Ocrevus. So anyhow, main thing with that I'm talking about right now is your attitude. Try to keep a real positive attitude. Stay active. Keep your mind active. You know, now that I'm older, and I was reading this book about fears, right? I'm reading this book about fears. Okay, and dealing with your fears. I'll admit it, I fear losing my brain, my cognitive function, you know. That's probably one of my fears, you know. So I try to stay active mentally. And I'll do cardiovascular if I can. You know, there's 3 main exercises types that you have to do. You have to do stretching, strength, and cardiovascular. Cardiovascular is the last thing my doctor said, exercise. That'll keep your mind functioning, keep your brain active. Well, let me touch a little bit about MS, though. When MS was happening to me in the beginning, and I had this like real negative attitude. First, I didn't know what was going on. I was just tired all the time. Then once I knew, I was kind of down and out because I thought, oh my God, I'm going to end up crippled. But that's not always the case. You can't believe that. You can't really just get focused on that. That's not always the case. You know, it does affect, it progresses, but you got to do your part to keep it keep progression minimized. That's what our objective is. Because again, going back to modern technology is taking off, and there's going to be more medicines, Anyway, so fatigue. So fatigue is a big one. You have to figure out a way. I talked about the T. Talk about, you have to think about your body at the cellular function. So nutrition is a big one. It's true what they say, you are what you eat, I don't drink alcohol because if I drink 2 or 3 beers, which I haven't done for like 20 or 30 years, easy, I'll be tired, sleeping, using the bathroom, affects your brain. And so, hey man, if you know it's no good, don't do it. Give it up. You have to have a lot of self-discipline, self-respect. You have to have, okay, this is a message right here. What keeps me going? Love for life, really. It's a love for life. I still love life. I wake up, or sometimes my foot is cold. Sometimes my foot is spasming. Sometimes all the time my hands are numb. Do you get used to it? Well, sort of, kind of, you get used to it, but you know what happens? You learn to adapt and live with it. I can still pick up this book. See that? I can still turn the pages. I'm grateful for that. Now, there was a problem when I used to do charting and nursing, and my hands are so slick, I couldn't. But you can make it adapt to that. I used to get like a rubber finger adaption, and that would help me turn the pages. But now it's computing, right? Forget that, man. I can't compute that. I can't type that fast. But if I have to do something, I would do speak and spell. So there's ways that we can do that. So ways we can manage. A couple other things that I want to just address really quick is, you have to have that love for life. Love your life, man. Don't lose it. Keep your love for life. It starts with love for yourself. For a long time, I lost that love for myself. My wife helped me regain that love for myself. She said, remember, you're not a diseased person. You're a person with a disease. I had a friend tell me one time, said, I can't do, I used to go windsurfing and rock climbing and this and that. And she says, who does that anyway? It's true. Every dog has its day is what my wife says, So these are kind of mental, emotional adjustments that we need to make so that we can go on and keep enjoying our life. It's going by pretty quick, I'm 63 and I still think it's not a matter. I am still young at heart. You can be young at heart. You know what they say? Age is not just hardening of the arteries. It's hardening of the ideas. It's hardening of your emotional state. Hey, don't let that happen to you. Stay in love with life. That's what this is about. All right. So I think the only other thing that I would like to include is because this is like, a long time ago when I was a nurse and I'd be talking to the patient. And they'd be telling me their stuff, and I'd be feeling real sad. I'm thinking hey, this isn't right. But, that was part of my disease because it was affecting my emotions. My emotions were too susceptible to outside influence. And, our emotions are a big part of it. Stay in love with life, Realize that our emotions can be severely affected by this neurological conditions that's creating plaques in our brains that are affecting neurotransmission and a whole slew of other neurological cellular processes. That's just how it is. It's a complicated disease. But every day we have to get up. So, stay in love with life and get up. Get up, get going. Stay in love with life. Take care. George from California. Namaste.